Hello everyone and welcome back. Today we're going to be trying to turn this old worn out file into a knife. But first we're going to make a handle. I have a shop smith, that's what this piece of wood's on, and my plan is to just lathe this piece of wood down and start making the handle. Turning it on is always kind of scary because one time I had a board in here and it was on too high of a gear. It spun itself off and threw across the room. Jeez, we already got smoke. Okay, let's lower the gearing, which is simple but tricky. Yeah, down here you got this big motor, and with the pulley you gotta try to lift up the motor. First you gotta take the Allen wrench and loosen this way up. There we go. Now we are going to put it on the slowest belt setting, which is going to be small pulley on the motor, big pulley on the top. Lower it back down and tighten that bolt up. Okay, so now I'll explain the reason why over here was smoking. So some of these have like a spinning bearing. This one does not. So I put a washer on here so this thing didn't go all the way down in. So hopefully burn itself all the way down into the wood. So hopefully the washer will slow down the burning, but it's gonna... Normally I have a little bit of water that I keep over here. Just kind of dump a little on it to keep it cool. You gotta turn it off every once in a while to keep that from burning. See, it's starting to get a little rounder from square, but it takes a minute. Quite round yet. I kind of want it to be round. It's round on this one edge, which makes me think it's a little bit messed up. Oh, there's a crack right there too. Let's hope that doesn't get bigger. Let me try a different knife. There, that's about round. A bit more on. Oh, it's taking chunks out this side. That's not good. Maybe if that's the base of the handle, might work. Now, I think that's good for like handle holding. Now, I think what I'm going to do is get a piece of sandpaper, run sandpaper on it while it's lathing, and then yeah, there's a couple dings and bruises on it, but not too bad. I just realized the problem I might have. This is just pine wood, because it's a 2x2. I might have to rebuild this with a more sturdier wood like oak. I think I have some oak anyways. See right there? That's where the washer sat. Let's see how hot's the washer. So the washer sat right in there, because you see right on the end what it looks like. It's not, come on, focus camera. It's not like a spinny one. Like some lathes will have a bearing at this end, but this one does not. So my problem would always be this would burn right into the wood because it's just tapered. So if you put a washer on it, that definitely helped. It didn't like burn and stop working, but it did burn up a lot right there. So that little bit we can just cut off with the chop saw. Depending on what happens, you see where my hand is, we'll probably cut off a lot of where it chipped right here, especially if this ends up being the handle. I'm not so sure now with it just being pine. I might change it so it's oak or something a little heavier. Okay, here I'll show you my plan for this. This file is what I plan to be making the actual blade part out of. And I plan to drill a hole in this end and taper it and do stuff to make it fit. But like have it go in probably about that far, or maybe like a little bit farther there, because I'm still going to be carving out a lot of this wood. I just wanted to get it this far so I didn't have to do so much carving, but it's probably going to be about this far in so I can put like drill through and like keep it from coming out with a pin. Like from this side, this will kind of be what it will look like a little bit. It'll look nicer once it's done. But so now what I plan to do is take this, mark it right about there, and then from here on sharpen it up. Okay, I decided for what I want to do that piece of this would be too weak, so I'm taking a piece of an oak board, and that's what I'm going to use. Piece of oak, I just kind of got fitted up a little bit. I think it'll work way better than the piece of pine before. I have a drill press, why don't we just use that? Okay, I just took a minute, and this piece of oak, I took a carving knife and carved it down to this shape, which is very close to what I want it to be for the knife. So now I'm going to take this sander and sand it down to make it more smooth. Hello everyone, welcome back to day 2 on this project. So, last night, the handle, I coated up, I used an old farmer's trick, and I coated it in used motor oil, and that stained it, and it's working pretty good. It's still a little wet though. Where'd the blade go? Here's the blade. So, I started making an edge on it a little bit, but I have this Milwaukee sharpener. That is what I'm going to use to hopefully make this sharper today. Then after that, we are going to take and put it in the handle and drill a hole through the handle and in through there so we can put the pin in, but we won't put the pin in right now. So we're going to go out, we're going to start a campfire, and we're going to heat this thing up and dip it in the used motor oil to harden the blade. I think it's working. Yeah, I think that worked. Okay, I know I suck at filming, so I finished up with the knife. I don't know how much of it I filmed, I don't know how much of it I didn't, but I'll show you it finished. Here it is. Pretty cool thing. So yeah, I had the groove down in there. I drilled the hole, I heated it, and then hardened it. You see there? Still got some of the filing aspect to it, so that's cool. I ran into a lot of problems with like the blade being loose and having troubles with this pin. So I had a different pin and it split the wood and broke out this chunk here. So I just got a different nail and bent it over that way so then it didn't wiggle as much. And then I put glue in there, right, I don't know if you can see, right down in there. On each side of it there's little pieces of wood there, just little things that I with glue jammed down in there. And because the way of staining this handle with motor oil and maybe a tiny bit of diesel, but mostly motor oil, the whole knife just smells like motor oil and diesel. Pretty good smelling knife, actually. Well, I know this may have been a little bit boringer of a video. I just thought it'd be cool to show the knife that I built. So I guess maybe I'll have an update once I sharpen it, or I gotta do a little bit more sanding, put another coat of motor oil on it. But I mean, there's a trick for you. Old Farmer's trick. Use motor oil is good for staining. It might be a little bit oily for a little bit, but then it'll wear off. So yeah, I guess thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.